Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to be dividing up the floors of our Victorian or Gothic or mansard style house. Notice in this one I have a full first story, a full second story, and then this third story is where I've got a full part here and then a half part here. Notice also how my first story is wider than the second story, which is wider than that full third story up there, and that's going to come into play in just a minute. So if we flip over here and look at my drawing, this is kind of where the drawing would, you would see that this is one section, this is a second section, and if you kind of can faintly see my original rectangle, it went up like this, and then my other floor was right there, so I ended up erasing this line over here to get the tower and this part to stand out. So we left off here. Okay, you are going to take this rectangle, whatever you want, and you're going to divide your rectangle into floors, or what we can call stories. First, look at where the top of your picture is. I'm going to put my top up here, and I'm actually going to write top so we know where that is. Write it lightly so that it does not interfere with your picture during the watercolor part, because we want to erase that. But you're going to do 2 stories or 3 stories. On this one, I did 3 stories, right? I've got 1, 2, 3, and then I added a roof on the top, and I counted this one into my second story. So if you want 2 stories, you would take your rectangle here, and you would simply divide it in half. You can use a ruler to kind of measure it if you need to. Okay, or you can just eyeball it or guess with your fingers like that, whatever works. If you want it in half and 2 stories, do that. If you want it into 3 stories, like my drawing, I'm going to divide it into thirds. I'm just going to eyeball it here. I'm going to put some little lines and then kind of measure with my fingers and re-estimate. And that's pretty close. Alright, so my lines are, if I were to divide it into thirds, that's right. Okay, so then I'm going to take my ruler and draw a horizontal line. Make sure that it's horizontal along with the bottom of your paper. Okay, so it's parallel and horizontal. And only draw inside this rectangle. You don't need to go all the way out to the edge of the paper. And finish dividing it up, and you should have your house evenly divided into 1, 2, 3 stories, or if you just want 2 stories, that's fine too. Okay, and this is where we'll leave off. Everyone's going to have something different. Everyone's choosing something different. I can't tell you what to choose. If you're doing a vertical composition, it would look like that. If you're doing a horizontal composition, you would have your house horizontal, and then your dividing of your floors would go horizontal as well. Okay, we're going to pause it there and start with the next video of dividing up the house.